Welcome to this episode of the Smart Leaders Sell podcast. I'm Jess, sales coach and leadership expert. And today I've got a really interesting / juicy / controversial topic that I want to jump into, and I'm calling it MLM Madness, okay? It is the season of multi-level marketing. Summer is arriving and all of the network marketing companies are going crazy. So today's episode is about the good things about MLMs, the bad things about MLMs, and the reason that they are so successful in terms of sales strategies. And there are some, believe it or not, sales strategies that you can learn from MLMs. The one reason, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on which side of the fence you sit on, that these companies are so super successful is because actually they do have some sales strategies that are kind of useful for you guys to hear about, know about, and potentially practice, if with a little more integrity and less spam. So let's dive right in. And I just want to touch on what's kind of been going on in my world over the last few weeks. It's been incredibly busy. And this week we are actually preparing for Sam's parents to come and visit us, which is very exciting. Also, I don't know whether anyone else goes through this, but when the in-laws are visiting, is it really normal to obsessively clean your house for fear that they might just think that you are, just really, really not dirty, but untidy and messy? Just realized how that sounded. I'm like, oh gosh, Jess. But it is that kind of thing. So right now, this week, I'm feeling kind of under a lot of pressure to make the house look nice, to get all of the cleaning done, the tidying done. And actually today, after recording this podcast episode, I'm actually spending my day putting up wallpaper. Not entirely sure how that's going to go. If I'm not back with an episode next week, that probably means that I'm stuck together with wallpaper glue, like some kind of weird life-sized mummy model. But yeah, that's kind of the plan for the week. And it's been really, really busy. I've been launching my private membership community this week. The price is about to go up. We're implementing a joining fee and some other things that I'll be talking about in next week's episode, and just to kind of give you an overview of how you can effectively run a membership community, how you can effectively sell it, and how you can make sure that your retention rate is as high as it can possibly be. So actually this week there's been an awful lot kind of going on. And when I sat down to record this episode, I actually had a completely different topic planned. I was planning on talking about boohoo.com and their kind of huge trajectory to success, but I'm going to put that in another episode. Because when I sat down to record, I was kind of scrolling through my newsfeed. And when I plan out these episodes, I sit there on Air Story and I write them out and I look at what I want to say. And, I procrastinate for a little bit because I've got to get my voice ready, got to have a cup of tea, do all those things. And so it's like having a bit of a scroll through the newsfeed. And I kid you not, like 4 out of the 6 posts that I saw on my morning scroll were people who had gone from being coaches, consultants, social media managers, whatever, to multi-level marketers. Now, I've got no problem with that. However you want to make your money, it's cool with me as long as it's in integrity and you actually deliver the results you say you can deliver. I don't really care whether you work for an MLM or yourself or whatever that looks like for you. The interesting thing was that I realized every single year we have this same season, okay? And pre-summer is the season for MLMs to pop out. And that's traditionally because most multi-level marketing companies were set up for things like weight loss, for things like, I want to say, lower ticket clothing. So you've got like leggings. There are companies who focus on summer costumes, summer swimming costumes, that kind of stuff. And basically multi-level marketing is at its peak during this time of the year when people are feeling a bit low about their appearance. So we see shampoo companies, we see weight loss companies, we see health supplement companies. And when we want to improve it for a short period of time, basically MLMs rock up when we require a miracle cure. And that's cool, right? Everyone has their niche. It doesn't really make a difference. And I actually think that there are some things that MLM companies do that are really, really smart. And that's what I want to share with you today, because we can all learn from other people's sales processes. And there are some things that MLMs do that are really clever that actually have helped them survive despite, the way that we feel about pyramid schemes, Ponzi schemes, and also some things they do that you definitely never want to do, because you will be referred to as the scourge of the earth when it comes to selling. So let's have a look first off at why people join MLMs. Like, what is the point? Now, I remember way back when I was about 18 or 19, and I, was at college and all my friends were trying to find jobs and part-time Saturday work, all this kind of thing. And one of my friends became an Ann Summers rep, right? Now, at the time, this was a huge shock because, oh my goodness, she was selling things that were specifically meant for the bedroom. Okay, I'm apologizing in advance to anyone who is listening to this particular episode with your kids in the car, but she was selling things that, in all honesty, I was 18 or 19, I had never heard of. And yet here she was wanting to come into my living room and for me to invite like 20 people round so that we could all put these vibrating phallic objects on our noses and see whether we sneezed or not. Genuinely, that was my experience, my first ever experience of an Ann Summers party. Needless to say, I'm going to be honest, I've not been to that many more. It did kind of scar me for life. But anyway, that was my first ever experience of an MLM. And I remember asking her, because at the time I obviously had a really nice job in jewelry and I was kind of flying around to different places, making sure that underperforming stores were performing and selling more stuff. And I didn't really understand how the MLM thing worked or why she wanted to do it. Because as far as I was concerned, like, this girl was not sat at home every night kind of looking at the internet and being like, right, okay, what can I sell? Oh, okay, it's going to be handcuffs and lube. So I didn't really understand how she'd gotten into it. And I didn't really understand how the model worked. And so she explained to me, she was like, oh, wow, actually, my sister-in-law does it. So, I went to one of her parties and she had it at her house and everyone had biscuits and we talked about vibrators and it was really good fun. And, at the end of the party, she kind of gave us some vouchers. The person who hosted it had more vouchers than everybody else. And she made a commission off of the stuff she sold. And I remember thinking, well, okay, I can see how that works. Seems like a lot of effort. And then over time, as my friends kind of got older and they started having children, I saw a lot of my friends go into these multi-level marketing companies. So we had, some of my friends did body shop parties or Tupperware or leggings or makeup, those kinds of things. And, as we've got older still, now people are trying to sell me Juice Plus supplements and all this kind of thing every 5 minutes. I'm not entirely sure what that says about me or what they think about my photos on Facebook. But needless to say, right? Everyone's been involved with an MLM at some point or has probably bought something from an MLM, has been involved in one of these parties or has received one of their messages. So it's quite interesting for me because when I look at why people get involved in MLMs, I don't inherently think, like the majority of the population, that people who get involved with MLMs are just terrible people who want to fill my inbox with spam. I don't believe that. Now, this is not an invitation. Just in case anyone is listening who is part of an MLM, it doesn't mean that I want any unsolicited emails in my inbox about what you sell, okay? Especially not if you think I look a bit fat in my Facebook profile pictures. That is not going to be a good sales pitch. But the reasons that I feel that people go into an MLM environment is, one, because actually it's immediate community. When you join an MLM, and I see this a lot recently, especially when we've got this kind of surge of people joining them, actually what tends to happen is that people go, I'm part of something bigger. And in the world of online entrepreneurship, especially when you've set up your own business, it can be pretty damn lonely. So having an MLM community is like having your workmates all over again, right? It's having people to engage on your posts. It's having people to support you when you're having a great day and a bad day. Now, I'm not sure how tight-knit the community is because I've never been part of an MLM, but I think that a lot of people do get, something out of having that community boost. And I know that when I created my membership site a couple of years ago, the biggest pull, the biggest driver for people is the fact that they will get to connect with like-minded people who will be able to support them, who will provide advice, giggles, Prosecco, all of that good stuff, as well as the amazing knowledge and information. And this is what a lot of MLMs have. They have this sense of immediate community. They bring you into the family, and it makes you feel welcome and wanted. And that's a real big driver for people. The second thing that MLMs have is this ability to kind of make you feel that it's going to be easy, right? So lots of MLMs will have prescribed sales practices, and we'll talk a bit more about those in a sec, but they have these prescribed sales practices that make you feel like actually it's going to be really, really easy to sell your grandma a bunch of candles, okay? Or to sell your sister-in-law a bunch of inappropriate / hilarious / potentially appropriate, depending on what you go for, bedroom wear, okay? It makes it look very simple. And the kind of marketing that they use to recruit people is very much, hey, all you do is use the products and tell people about them. And that's cool. You know, that is pretty much the premise of what they're doing. They also have a bunch of other prescribed sales practices. However, I don't think it's as easy as it looks. And the reason that it's not as easy as it looks is that actually once you've run out of, you know, your grandma, your mum, a couple of your friends who want to buy something to support you, actually you don't have anybody else. And that becomes very, very difficult. And so, you know, the real point of an MLM is actually not to sell. Okay, shock horror, right? It's actually not to sell the product. It's to grow a team. So if you're in an MLM and you're like, okay, why am I not the one who's, you know, earning the 100,000 a month or whatever it is that they kind of promise you at the beginning that is possible? The reason is you're doing it wrong. You're focusing too much on selling the product and not enough on recruiting other people to sell the product. And that's really where the money comes in. So they make it look very easy. They make it look very simple. They don't necessarily give you the reality of the situation, which is actually that, you know, if you look at the official stats, and there was a wonderful blog article by Hannah Martin at the Talented Ladies Club, who wrote about the reality of the stats on MLMs and the percentage of people that are successful and that reach the levels that companies say that they can. And it's like 2%. Okay, it's very, very low. However, some people do like the products. So when we're looking at why people join them, you know, they've got immediate community, they've got sales practices that look simple, they like the products, they think it's going to be, you know, millionaire in a minute because they don't actually have to create any products or services of their own, they can sell somebody else's. And actually it all looks positive, right? There are no downsides. When we look at that from an outside perspective, there's nothing that looks bad, okay? So why does it then get a bad rap? Like, what is the big problem? Why do, when you say MLM, why do people like flinch, like you physically punched them in the chest? Well, simply because, as with anything, and this is the same with the coaching industry, it's the same with the recruitment industry, it's the same with the sales industry, it gets a bad rap. Some people, the minority, don't actually do what they're supposed to do, and they make it a problem for the majority, right? Some people employ really bad sales tactics. They join an MLM, they spam your inbox, they send you a message when you put, hey, it's the new year, I'm going to start going to the gym. They send you a message that's like, hey, if you're feeling fat, use these little pills or shakes or whatever. Don't worry about going to the gym. You don't need to do that. Just take these instead. And actually, those experiences are what we've come to associate with the multi-level marketing world. And it's become really, really difficult to break that cycle because, unfortunately, the one thing that you do have when you're running or when you start an MLM is that you can't actually control what your employees are saying. So as ever, there will be some really, really good people who do everything that is prescribed by the company. They'll use the stock photos, they'll use the stock copy, all that kind of thing. And then there'll be some people who go out and just do whatever they want. And if you bear in mind how many people are involved in these companies, it is a huge, huge, vast amount. And the companies themselves have zero control over what those people are saying, when they're saying it, or what that impact is doing to their audience. Okay. So MLMs have this bad rap because they do have some shady sales practices going on. I do want to say though, and I do want to stress that that's from the minority, it's not from the majority of people. They do typically get bad rap for spamming your inboxes with stuff that you don't actually want or need. They also get into trouble for providing generic solutions when people need tailored advice. Okay, I have zero doubt that there are some supplements that could possibly enhance my health. However, if I'm going to take a supplement, you better bet your bottom dollar that I'm only going to take advice from a qualified nutritionist or my doctor. At no point do I want Jenny from the block telling me what's potentially wrong with, my health, or something that could actually cause me problems or could not identify a long-term or underlying health issue. Okay. And this is the thing with MLMs. It's very different depending on which MLM you pick as to the kind of experience you'll have and the added information that you'll need to take in. Okay. If it's nutrition based and you're not a nutritionist, it's going to be really hard for you to sell, because there could be issues. There are lots and lots of legal things that you need to worry about. Whereas if you're selling leggings or Tupperware, or anything like makeup, actually those things are less likely to have any kind of causes for concerns in terms of health and wellness, and things that actually should be treated by professionals and people who've spent time, energy and money, learning the ins and outs of those particular areas of expertise. So that all kind of gives an overview of what MLM is like. Is it good? Is it not? To be honest, there's no one answer. Some people are going to love MLMs. Personally, I've never really been into buying things from multi-level marketing companies. I've never really found anything that I've wanted from them. However, do I still go out and buy makeup? Do I still go out and buy body lotion? Do I go out and buy Tupperware leggings? Anything else? Yes, of course. Absolutely. It's just that I don't necessarily buy them when I see someone that I went to school with 20 years ago posting about it on Facebook. I prefer to buy from a qualified source, and that may make me a terrible friend, right? If you're one of my friends and listening to this and you are working with an MLM company and you've always wondered why I've never bought from you, there you go. That is the blunt answer. Please don't stop being my friend. But it's that kind of thing, right? So when we look at MLMs and should you join, should you not join, it can be really easy, especially if your business isn't going in the way that you want, to think, yeah, I'll join an MLM, I'll supplement my income. And at the moment, we have lots and lots of MLMs that are from the US that are actually branching out into other countries. They're hitting Australia, Canada, the UK, Europe. And so they are looking for people, and they're promising you too can win a Range Rover, or you too can have the $100,000 bonus, or whatever. However, it's never going to be as easy as they make out. So if you're going to bet on you or the power of the MLM and the brand, bet on you 100% of the time, because the brand will only get you so far. And actually, as somebody who's worked with large brands for a number of years, I can tell you there are instances where having the brand behind you makes a positive difference. Some people just think, yeah, Unique is a brand I love and I want to buy from anyone who sells it. Other people go, I heard that my sister's aunt's friend's daughter once had a problem with a lipstick from Unique, and so I will never ever buy it. And instead I will spend all of my time telling you how awful your company is, despite not knowing anything about it. Okay, so, there are pros and cons. What I'm saying is, don't join an MLM just because you think it's going to be easy, just because you think you're going to be able to sell a ton of the stuff. The reality is very, very different. And a lot of the times you're going to be required to make an initial outlay that is not small. And you're going to be required to sell products that, yes, you might like, but the reality is, if you don't know a ton of other people that are super invested in shampoo, it's going to be slow going. Okay. But if you do decide to join an MLM, or if you're just thinking, actually, what is it that MLMs do that makes them super successful? Keep listening, because the thing that MLMs do really well is actually sell. And if you join an MLM company, you have to learn to be resilient immediately, because one of the things that MLM companies will tell you is that you have to be selling every single day. Now, this is something that I inherently really agree with. I agree that everyone should be selling every single day to their audience in some form or another. I don't necessarily agree with all the sales practices that MLMs teach. I don't agree with cold pitching or rocking up into somebody's inbox and, the spray and pray marketing method. But things that MLMs teach around sales practices that are really useful are resilience. Okay, if you're going to own your own business, or if you're going to be successful at sales, or if you're going to be successful in an MLM company, you have to understand that some people are going to say yes and some people are going to say no. And that when people say no, you don't just get to stop working. You have to keep going. And you have to go out and find that next sale. And sometimes that can be really difficult in terms of your mindset. But the one thing that MLMs are really good at is teaching you that actually a no is just a not right now, or a maybe in a few weeks, rather than taking it personally. Okay, so if you're thinking about sales success and you're thinking, okay, actually, every time somebody says no to me or says maybe, I get really upset and I get really bothered about it, take this lesson away. Resilience is key when it comes to selling. No does not mean no, I hate you and I never want to buy your stuff. It means not right now. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in the product. Maybe it's I just don't need it right now. Maybe it's I don't trust that it works right now and I need some more information. But resilience and being able to pick yourself up afterwards is key for your success. So if you're somebody who, you're going out there, you're putting out sales posts, you're getting crickets, and it means that you stop, this is something that you need to rejig, because otherwise it's going to really, really stop you selling. It's going to stop your success. Okay. The second thing that MLMs do really well when it comes to sales is that they're very good at putting together solid copy. Okay. They're very good at putting together sales posts, and they're very good at utilizing the power of testimonials and case studies, right? So if you've ever seen an MLM be advertised, particularly one in the weight loss industry, you will see that there are pictures of abs that go on for years. All right. And there are always going to be, this person looked like this 6 weeks ago and now they look like this. Testimonials and case studies are super important for your sales process, because if people cannot see the results that they can potentially get, why would they buy? What's the point? What's the incentive? What's the motivation? How do they know what's possible for them? Case studies and testimonials are a huge, huge part of the sales process. They're a huge, huge part of establishing trust. And if you do work in an industry where you can use visuals, you can actually take pictures of people and show people, this is what it looks like before, this is what it looks like after, or you can do that through video, or you can do it through tangible results, i.e. this is how much money the person was earning before, or this is how many leads the person was generating before, and this is what life looks like after. You're showing people the possibilities for them. And that's a really, really powerful sales tool. It's something that really engages people, it motivates them, and actually inspires them to change, to take action in some way. So those are a really, really powerful tool that you can use in your sales process without feeling sleazy or grimy. The other thing that MLMs do really well is they teach people to be proud of the products. Now, how often have you sat there and kept quiet about your business and what you do because you're like, well, I don't really want to put it out there, and like, what if people judge me, and you get those kind of like mindset gremlins that tell you, no, don't say anything, just keep it quiet, keep what you do secret and safe, and then you won't get crickets and you won't ever be expected by anyone to, tout business their way or ask them to buy something. MLMs are very, very good at getting people to show off the products, show off what they mean in their daily lives, and be really proud to be part of it, and kind of shout about the company, shout about the products or services, and get really, really excited and kind of drive a buzz around what it is that they do. If you apply this to your own sales process, that means showing up regularly and being like, hey, my company is awesome because, or my program is awesome because, my service is amazing because, this is what it does for people, this is how it helps, these are the kinds of results that people get. Isn't it exciting? Because honestly, you're doing no favors when you're keeping your company a secret, because you're just letting people go to buy from other people who potentially aren't as qualified as you, or who aren't going to get them as great results as you could, right? They might not have the same integrity that you do. So when it comes to sales practices and promotion, you have to be okay with promoting your business. You have to get used to the fact that actually they are going to take an interest, and that it is okay to shout about the good things that you're doing. It's okay to be proud of what you do. It's totally okay to boost your brand visibility in your profile. And yes, okay, sometimes you're going to catch Auntie Anne on the wrong day and she's going to see your millionth post about the business and be like, for God's sake, but she can mute you. Okay, she can unfollow you on Facebook. That is totally cool. The upside to this is that being proud of your company, being proud of what it is that you're selling, being proud of the results you're getting for people, helps other people renew their faith in what it is that you are doing, what you're trying to achieve. And also it positions you really well. People who are unafraid to shout about their businesses on their business page to their communities, who sell regularly, are generally people who are transparent, who genuinely are really good at getting their clients results, who are really okay with letting people know how they can help them because they are solid in the outcomes that those people will achieve with them. All right, so try and reframe it. If you're somebody who's naturally, and I'm very like this, I was brought up to believe that being humble is kind of like your biggest virtue. I find it really difficult as a Brit to be like, my company's awesome because it does all these awesome things. And I'm naturally a very self-deprecating person. However, when I was building my business, I was like, I literally have no pride because I need to make money. I need to survive. I need to pay my mortgage. So when push comes to shove, I am going to tell everyone how great my business is, all the amazing things that I can do for them and the amazing results that my clients are getting, because otherwise, I'm going to have to live off pot noodles, and that does not make me a jazzy Jess. All right. Now, the other thing that I kind of touched upon earlier that you may not think is a sales strategy, but that actually MLMs do really well and that we should be doing in our businesses is expanding, right? Like I was saying earlier, the main job if you join an MLM is to hire a team, to recruit a team, not to sell, okay? Selling of the products will only get you so far, and believe me, it's really not that far. Hiring a team will get you a lot further, okay? The reason that hiring a team gets you further in MLM is because obviously then their job is to go out there and sell stuff, and you get a percentage of everything that they make, and that's how the kind of pyramid grows. Now, in your own business, the best sales activity you can do is to expand early. Hire your team, because whatever they're taking off your shoulders, it leaves you more time for client delivery and for sales, which is where the majority of your efforts should be focused. Okay, it will mean that your business expands a lot more rapidly, obviously assuming that you hire the right people. Okay, so really do think about that when it comes to sales. It's not just about the posts that you're going out and writing, or the Facebook lives you're doing, or the podcast episodes, or anything like that. It is about expanding your business. It's about growing your company. It's about hiring people to do the tasks that actually take time away from you delivering to clients and from you selling. Because those are the pieces of your business that make it survive and that make it profitable and that allow you to do all the other cool stuff like redoing your website, rewriting your copy, having branding photo shoots done, all of that kind of thing. Okay, so quick recap then. Why do we love MLMs? Well, the majority of people, if I'm honest, don't love MLMs, but there are some things they do really well, including that feeling of immediate community, the prescribed sales practices, and the fact that some people just like the products. However, you can get a bad rap for being a spammy MLMer if you are going to be a spray and pray marketer, jump into people's inboxes completely unsolicited, and if you don't really take the time to learn about the products and things that you're selling and any underlying problems that they could inadvertently hinder. Okay. In terms of sales practices that MLMs do really well, we've touched on a few today. We've talked about, being proud of your business, making sure that you get visible, making sure that you're unafraid to actually sell, and in terms of business expansion as well, and making sure that you have that time to deliver to clients and focus on selling and making your business as profitable and productive as it can possibly be. My overarching feeling on it, though, is always going to remain the same. If it's a choice between having your own business and believing in yourself versus an MLM, even if it has the immediate community, I would choose your own business every single time. You are always going to be more profitable working for yourself. You are always going to have more freedom and more flexibility doing that. It's totally okay if you want to use an MLM to enhance that and enhance your income or supplement your income or supplement that need for community. My honest opinion would be own business every single time, 100% of the time. Okay. And if you are looking to join a community at the moment, a business building community, you want even more access to Jess for just $47 a month until the price goes up, you can now officially join the Dotties. It is open. The application link will be in the show notes, so you can go and apply. if you want to be surrounded in a community that teaches tons and tons and tons of business building foundations, gives you quarterly one-to-one calls with me, weekly hot seats, monthly hot seats, and all of the community that you could ever need to help support you on your journey for growth, you can now apply to become a Dottie, and we'd be very, very excited to have you. The price does go up soon, so please make sure if you are interested that you apply ASAP, and you will get in before we raise the price and implement our new joining fee, which I'll be talking about in the next episode. I've had a blast today. I hope you have too. If you've enjoyed the episode, please make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any other episodes. And if you have any comments, if you think, actually, Jess, that was a pretty good episode, and, I'd love to boost your ego a little bit, you can always leave me a review. Reviews are great on iTunes or Stitcher or any of the other podcast tools that you prefer to use. I will see you in the next episode.